Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Mullin It Over here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins in studio. We got a couple special guests joining us this week. Of course, we want to take a moment to thank the Wizard for all of his wizardry, helping us out, keeping us live. Greg Kinn locked us in here tonight. Once again, you are locked in on Mullin It Over. Make sure you share the video, like, follow, subscribe to us on all of our platforms, especially YouTube. If you're not subscribed on YouTube yet, come on. What are you doing? So let me get to our guests. We have a couple of special guests joining us in the studio. First up is my lovely wife, Chelsea.
Hello.
All the way far to my left. And closest here on my left, Donna Gross. And let me make sure I get this name right because it's a lengthy one. Downtown Tiffin Main Street Manager.
That's right. That is a mouthful.
Yeah, I like it though.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on with us. I appreciate your time tonight. Obviously, you have a very busy schedule. As I was doing some little research on you as a person, I'm like, man, you wear a lot of different hats.
I do. And I change them like hourly
Yeah.
throughout the day. So, yeah.
There's a lot of balancing there.
I change my clothes a lot too during the day, depending on where I'm going. So.
Are you a juggling artist?
Yeah, exactly.
So Donna is the owner at Releve.
Yes, Releve.
Releve Bar Studio. That is located at 116 South Washington Street. That's located inside the Laird Arcade in downtown Tiffin. You also have another location, right?
Well, I had one up in Birmingham, Michigan. I opened that one in 2012.
Okay.
That was the first studio that I opened. And when I moved here in 2019, I had both studios going simultaneously. So I was a lot of driving back and forth. I had instructors at both studios, but in 2020, in the spring, we all know what happened, and I had to close both studios. But the great thing about that is it forced me to do something I always wanted to do, which is produce on-demand videos.
Okay.
Videos. So I had my two sons. They were my video crew, and they helped me produce 15 online demand videos.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to let the Michigan studio close. In Ohio, we had a 2-month pause for fitness studios. In Michigan, we were closed down for 11 months.
Wow.
So it was kind of hard to restart that and revamp that back up. So so I'm down to one location.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're glad to have you here in Tiffin.
Thank you.
It is a very cool studio. If you haven't been there, you need to go check it out. Chelsea and I did some dance lessons there last year. Had a blast.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. But they do couples dance classes, just solo dance classes, all kinds of different stuff, right?
Yeah, we do. We offer it's a boutique fitness studio is what we call it. So smaller classes, smaller venue. We offer bar classes, which is a mix of fitness. Think of like an aerobics and ballet kind of mixed together.
Okay.
Calisthenics, yoga, cardio, kickboxing, personal training, all sorts of fun stuff.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, in case you're wondering, you're sitting here watching on Heart of Ohio Sports. You're like, what is a sports rap? How does this wrap into sports? There you go. Come on. Dance.
Hey, ballet and yoga is really good for sports.
Exactly.
It is.
There are a lot of athletes that are into ballet and into dance. It helps with core training. So, I mean, hey, if you don't knock it till you try it. That's all I got to say, you know.
It is true.
So you serve on a lot of different committees and boards, including this downtown Tiffin Main Street committee as well. So you did the Kris Kringle Marked last year.
Yes.
Talk about that, because I have a little bit of a background with events management, and I know how much of a fun time that can be.
It is. It's a lot of fun. It's also a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And there's a lot of planning that goes on in the,
Oh, yeah.
in the back end of it. So Kate Wirtz and I were on the marketing committee downtown Tiffin, and she used to live in Europe and had gone to actual German Kris Kringle marks, which is our Christmas outdoor markets with the open tents, the lights, the delicious food, and beer and pretzels and all that fun stuff. I had attended some here in the States, and we just started brainstorming. Thought, you know what, this would be really fun to bring to Tiffin. I know that Tiffin used to have a Victorian Christmas downtown. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's been a while, but it was, I think, 2014, somewhere around in there, 13, 14. We did a coat drive for the Victorian winter thing that they did.
So something similar, but more pulling on Tiffin's German heritage. So we started brainstorming and brought it up to the committee. They loved the idea. And then we started rolling from there, and we're able to contact vendors, food vendors, musicians. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. So that's something that you have to start planning well in advance. I mean, Chelsea and I used to do the Music and Art Festival. We had to start planning that. If it was a June event, our planning started in December usually. I mean, it starts at least 6 months ahead of time. You're still doing a lot of things before that, but that's when the majority of your bulk, the bulk of the planning comes about 6 months before that event. And you're doing, every week you're doing something to prepare for that event. So, as your role now changes this year, what do you think you're going to be doing to help facilitate the Mark to this year? Are you going to be still in the same role?
Not in the same role, but definitely assisting, because Kate and I kind of built the airplane as we flew it.
Okay. I like it. We've been there before, right, Greggy? We're pretty good at building the airplane as we fly it.
Oh, yeah. You have to, isn't it?
I love that. That example is
that's
perfect.
really good.
That's a great way to describe it.
It's a great analogy. Now that the airplane is built, and, that first year you ever do something, you learn what worked, what didn't work, what do we want to add, what do we want to change. So we have a whole plan put together, kind of wrapped up with a bow and ready to hand that off to a committee that would be willing to volunteer and help out with that. I, of course, would help out as much as possible. I just can't run the committee.
So you're probably starting to put that committee together sometime in the next month or two.
We just put a nice announcement on the Chris Kringle page on Facebook and had some great response to it. So,
that's really cool. Well, that's good to hear that you're getting some good response from the community, because that's important. With any of these kind of events, you need community buy-in. So let's talk just a little bit about what we've got going on next week. Talking about a community event. This takes a lot of community buy-in. The Artist Stroll.
Yeah, so next Thursday kicks off what we call our third Thursday events in downtown Tiffin. We started this a few years back, April through October. Normally this year we're going to extend it to November. The third Thursday of every month we have an event downtown Tiffin. This Thursday is going to be the Artist Stroll. It's from 5 to 8. And we have artists that are matched up with the downtown merchants. So they'll be inside their stores, their businesses, and patrons can grab a map or a location, piece of paper, and stroll from business to business, looking at all various types of art. And we're going to have some drawings and door prizes as well.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So this is what? How many years have they been? How many years has Tiffin been doing this artist stroll? Because it was originally called the something else, but now it's the Artist Stroll.
Right.
So how many years has this been going on now?
That's a good question.
So do you remember the...
Not a question that we haven't answered to, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
Do you remember the Beehive Cafe?
Yeah.
So it was
in the Laird?
It was in the Laird. And that was there quite a long time ago, like when we were starting to do the festival. And I did a live mural in there during one of the artist strolls. It was a trio of bees.
Mm-hmm.
And it was charcoal, and it was just black and white on a green wall. And I did some like honeycombs around it.
It was really cool.
And what year was that?
I can't
I wanna say
remember.
2014.
I bet it was like 2013 or 2014.
Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Mary Lewis would know. for
She
sure.
would know.
She's a Rolodex of information like that for sure.
She and Zoe from Washington Street Outfitters are co-chairing this event together. So.
All right.
Nice.
That's awesome. So you have a solid brain trust for this. I'm telling you. Those are two key people. If you want to put on any kind of an event, you need to have those people on board.
Very true. Very true.
Wow. So
we're really excited. We're also going to have some food trucks in Lot 7. We're going to have Tijuana Tacos and this new food truck called Oh My Gosh. I don't know if you've seen it there.
I have seen this. I am excited for this.
Cookie dough served up like ice cream, and you can have toppings, and
It's just cookie dough?
Yes.
I think they have ice cream as well. But
Oh.
yeah. But
I've
cookie
heard
dough
that
toppings.
there's like a ice cream creation with ice cream on the bottom and this cookie dough on top, and I'm dying to try it.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to
absolutely.
make some kind of a video, I think, happen where we do a little taste sample.
Oh,
of
and you
this
could just
stuff.
do puns the whole time.
Yep, the whole time.
Oh my. So good.
Well, I mean, with a name like Doe My Gosh, I think,
It's pun
Tommy
ready.
and Greg can come up with some great puns
Doe.
to get us through an entire little segment.
And then over in lot 5, we will have high voltage coffee.
High voltage coffee.
Yeah, they were here for the Kris Kringle Marked and very popular.
Yeah.
They were excellent.
Well, and it's popular among the vendors usually. The vendors like to visit the coffee spots because you got to get something to keep you going,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I took some information from an event page or from a article that was from April 3rd. So
Okay.
I imagine some things might have changed
Yeah.
since then. But do you have a DJ I see for one of the lots here, City Lot 7?
Yes, we have No Eileen, Paul Grover
Nice.
is going to be in lot 7, and he's being sponsored by a few of the local merchants in that area.
That's
that'll
really
be
cool.
fun. That lot 7, will be completely blocked off, so no parking in that lot. But all the other 1 through 6 parking lots are going to be open and free to the public.
Okay.
As always.
Cool. So you got high voltage coffee. You have the No Eileen. You have the Tijuana food truck and Doe My Gosh.
Yes.
So we got a pretty good lineup. And then all the different stops on this stroll. Now,
Yes.
you want to talk about the different stops? Because we can get into the featured artists once we tell where they're going to be. I think that's probably where we should start.
Right. I'm just going to have my list here.
That absolutely.
read
Rattle
it.
them off. That's great.
All right, we've got Cabin Creations Art Supplies, the Community Kitchen, which is in the Fat Cakes building. That's their temporary location. Clover Club, Bailiwicks, Deli Cafe, Frozone, Hawks Crystal, Jollies, Kessler and Co., the Lab Brewery, Level Up, Panyan Books, which I'll talk about in a second, Reno's, the Renaissance, Rose and Co., Rose and Company Mercantile, Simply Susan's, The Social Cigar. This is a lot. Soul Boutique.
Yeah.
SSG Inc. Studio², Tiffin Art Guild and Gallery, Tom Rogers Flowers, and Washington Street Outfitters. How about that?
Wow.
That's a lot of involvement in our downtown community, which I love.
That's so cool that you have so many businesses that have bought into this and said, "Yes, I want to host an artist." And what's even cooler is we have that many artists that need to be hosted.
Right?
So let's
Yeah.
talk about these artists.
Yeah.
Let's give them a little bit of a highlight here. What do we got going?
so
Who do we have that we're highlighting?
We've got 2 new things going on this year in Panyan Books. There is going to be an open mic poetry reading.
Ooh.
That's
so
cool.
if you are a poet and you have poetry written and you want to come and read your poetry, that will be your night
That's really cool.
in the bookstore.
Maybe I'll break out some old poetry that I wrote that I never really did anything with.
So the first poetry.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's go.
So the first
That's what
poetry
podcasts
reading
are for.
I ever went to, I didn't know you don't applaud. You snap. I did not know that.
Okay.
I almost went like this, and then I noticed everyone was snapping. Have you ever been to poetry readings?
No, but I've just seen it. You're just like,
That's really cool.
So, in case you're going,
Get your snappy fingers out.
it's
I
just
snap
quieter.
loud though. Is that a bad thing? Because I'm a loud snapper.
you might have to tone it down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, tappy snaps. Little tappy snaps.
Okay, I can do it loud. I can do it quiet. I can do it quiet snap. We're good.
Okay, in the community kitchen, there's a new form of art, which I didn't know was in art. It's paintable bakery, so paintable cookies, paintable cakes,
That's
which goes with the whole
yes.
community kitchen. It's food related. So,
I'm all about it.
how cool is that?
So what, they go in
Paintable
there and just like
cookies.
paint cookies? Like they have a station for people to paint cookies, you
I
think?
think so.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
All
You
about
get
it.
to eat them, but sometimes they're so beautiful, you just don't want to eat them. I don't know.
Oh, I'm
just smash 'em.
all
Hard
about
time.
it.
You put a scoop of cookie dough on there, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh my
well, then
gosh.
you'd ruin
Oh
your
my gosh.
painting, though. I mean, I
Can
don't
you
want to
paint
ruin
the
my
cookie dough?
painting.
If I brought cookie dough over from Oh My Gosh, I wonder if I could paint my cookie dough. I don't know.
Now you're coming up with some really good food combinations here.
Ryan Punyon, I believe, is going to be at Ralph's.
Okay.
Doing some glass blowing things.
Punyon is one of my favorite local artists.
Yeah.
He's the guy that I feel like keeps the art community alive for the younger generation, you know, and keeps pushing the envelope when it comes to art as far as your comfortability with art, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like he's pushing boundaries. He's just like, okay, this is art too, and I love what he does, and the different things he does for the community is really awesome. Like the different giveaways, the charity giveaways, like the hide and seek things that he does with his, you know, his glass art. I think it's really cool. So
He's so fun.
yeah,
He's really fun.
I think he. I was texting him. I asked him if he could come on tonight, and he said he was unavailable. But I believe he said he's going to be at the deli.
Oh, the
possibly.
deli. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
deli. Okay.
Yeah, the deli.
So that'll be interesting.
Right.
Have you been in? I mean, obviously you've been in the
Yes.
deli.
It's delicious.
It's pretty beautiful too.
Gosh, it's so good. And I love their outdoor seating now.
Yes.
In this weather, so amazing.
We've only been there when
Yeah.
it's cold. So
Yeah, you have to go back.
yeah.
They have the outdoor cafe tables, and it's, just
It's
so
awesome.
pretty.
It's really cool. It's definitely a welcome addition to Tiffin, especially because there's not many food items or food options on that side of the river. You know, like there's not a whole lot to choose from. So, yeah, it gives us another option for sure. We talked about the featured stops. We talked about a couple of the artists. Can we just kind of maybe give a couple more artists a highlight here? Who else do we have? Maybe. Oh, there's one right
Myself.
here. Oh my gosh, we have one in studio. Wow.
So I was on the art stroll a long time ago
Okay.
doing that mural at the Beehive.
You
10
were-
years ago?
You were on the art stroll last year too, weren't you?
I was on the art stroll last year at Reclaim It.
Yeah.
So they urged me to be set up down here at our Studio².
Yes.
Last year I painted with William Keels from the Opportunity Center. I think he painted like some lollipops, and I painted a kitty cat. So it's like a cat with neon colors. I don't know when to paint this time, but we'll be open. The gallery will be open, and we can talk. You can check out the podcast area.
Did you hear that? Wait, she just dropped that like it was nothing. The studio is going to be open.
A soft opening.
Soft opening, but we're going to be open finally. You can actually come into the studio if you want. I think that's really cool. I'm excited about just being able to open the doors to the public, letting them come in and see what we've built to this point. Obviously, it's a work in progress. Like you said, we're kind of building the airplane as we're flying it, but I mean, it's something that we're proud of. We put a lot of work into it. We want to show it off. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
really
great.
excited about next week.
Yeah, so finally people will understand what this place is and
Yeah,
get a grasp for what we can offer for the community.
for sure.
I love it. I'll tell you about a couple of the other types of art that we're having.
Yes, I would love to hear.
Watercolor, acrylic, and oil paintings.
Okay.
I don't know where they're going to be located because we want people to come and seek them out. So if I tell you where this one's going to be, you might just go there.
No,
So
honestly, I don't really
have to-
want to give away where they're going to be.
You
Yeah,
have to come downtown.
That's not a stroll.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
You got to figure that out.
Yeah, you got to go find it.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. Stained glass, custom folded books, hat burnings, which I'm gonna give it away, but I'm not. I talked to the merchant today where this is going on.
So I can bring in a bunch of my old hats and burn them.
I think it's more like engraving, burning, kind of.
No.
You set them. You put on your head, and then you catch it on fire.
That means I can't go steal a bunch of Aaron's hats and bring them in.
Wait a minute. Are this Hold on a minute. I thought the circus was on Tuesday, not Thursday this week. What's going on here?
But also embellishing your hat as well. So you get to
Okay.
kind of build and
Bedazzle.
bedazzle your hat, which, the Kentucky Derby is coming up soon. So, that's always a
I
good
could
thing
do
to do.
some jewels on my hat.
Bedazzling on your hat.
Yeah, some bedazzling.
Oh, what else do we have?
Go to the Derby.
I've got some names, but I know I'm going to butcher them. Aiden Scully,
Aiden.
Annette Elkert, April Clay, Chelsea Mullins, Cindy Schultz, Doug Kelly, Aaron Kennedy, Heather Grover,
Okay.
Henry Stobbs, Jake Hale, Joe Barkus.
Oh, Jake Heil is one of my favorite musicians in the
Yeah.
area. He
Oh.
is so fun.
So we're also going to have musicians
Yes.
during the stroll. So not just tangible art, but musical art as well.
I think that's one of the coolest things about this is it's not just paint art, it's artists. And artists are also recording artists.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
Yeah, and dancers.
Yes.
So
Dancing artists.
Ryan Punyon, Linda, I'm going to butcher this, Schetzer.
Schetzer. Yes, you got it.
Mary Beth Fuller, Maureen Wise, Rob Ledwidge.
Rob.
I love Rob.
He's so awesome. I love Rob.
I love his positive attitude.
He's
just
always
great.
positive.
Yes. Shannon Bowman, Terry Roddy,
I love Shannon.
Tiffin Washboard Band.
What?
Okay,
Stop.
so the Tiffin Washboard
No.
Band. No, I'm telling you.
Mary Lewis is in that band. Is she not?
Is she gonna play? Is Mary Lewis gonna make
I
it?
hope she is.
She better.
Yeah.
Do you remember she had the tie that was like a washboard and she would play it like, oh man, I love it.
So last year they traveled around. They came into the Laird building, which is where I was. Last year I was one of the merchants that hosted stained glass artists.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I hear this, what is that amazing noise coming from the lobby of the Laird building? And it was the Washboard Band. Oh my God. I know. I'm telling you.
They're
It's just a
awesome
simple-
though. They're so fun. They love to have fun. So fun. And I mean, it's everybody's music. Everybody loves it and everybody has a good time. We had them play at the Music and Art Festival a couple times, I think 2 years in a row, right? 2 or 3 years, I think.
Oh, quite a few times. Yeah.
I know they played there a few times.
That's
for
how
sure.
I first met Mary.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the featured performer.
Yep.
She had a tie?
She had a tie that was like, it had ridges on it, and she would play it like a washboard.
Yeah, she had a lot of different ones.
It was cool.
She had a collection of washboards.
Yes.
We would drive her around on the golf cart.
Yep.
We had a little golf cart.
I was
Love
so
it.
cool.
Mary, you need a ride?
That's awesome. And also, I just want to mention we have our Third Thursday sponsors. We have UIS Insurance.
Okay.
We also have Reineke Family Dealerships, and then the Seneca Destination Seneca County.
Those are all familiar names.
Yeah.
Couple
We're
of
very
Heart
grateful.
of Ohio sports sponsors there.
Yep.
Reineke and UIS Insurance.
Yep.
Actually, UIS is our insurance company as well. So,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And we really couldn't do so much downtown Tiffin without them. So
Yeah.
we're very, very grateful for.
They help
awesome
so much.
sponsors.
So I do have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Both of you. First, Donna, just as you know, you've started this studio, and it's such a great addition to Tiffin. But when did you first start dancing professionally?
Well, I was 4 years old when I started taking ballet lessons.
Wow.
And this is a funny story. My sister is a little bit older than me, and she was taking dance lessons. I wasn't old enough yet, so I'd sit in the doorway and watch and probably tap my toes. And at the last class, the teacher dismissed everyone in my sister's class, and she said to me, "Would you like to come in and dance?" And my mom said I like jumped in there and just started spinning around. And she said, "Mrs. Bissell," she said to my mother, "I think she's ready."
Aw,
I think she's ready. So
That's so
I
cute.
studied mostly classical ballet all through high school, and then I went to college at Heidelberg. They did not have a dance major. I majored in business and public relations, but Dance Unlimited was here in town. It still is, and Mary Jo Murray owned that, and she found out I was a dancer and asked if I would help teach at her studio. So I did that all through college, and it was
Wow.
the best experience because I learned how much I loved teaching,
Right.
as much as performing, but I really fell in love with the idea of having my own studio someday. So those seeds were planted when I was 19 years old to have my own studio.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you and I were talking a little bit off air about some kind of a role in a movie. You were an extra with in a movie involving George Clooney.
I was.
What's your background involved in dancing? I mean, what other escapades do we not know about with Donna Gross? I mean, that's so cool.
It was crazy. I was up in Detroit at the time, Birmingham, Michigan, a nice little suburb, and I was in this theater group in my church, and one of the ladies that was there had a talent agency. So she contacted a bunch of us one day and said, "Hey, we got the gig to be extras in this George Clooney movie called Up in the Air." So asked if any of us would be available, and we also need like a child. So I said, my son Sam's 10 years old. She goes, "Perfect, bring Sam." So he got to miss school that day, which was fun.
Oh man.
That's
So
awesome.
they filmed it out at the old Barry International Terminal, which is now closed, but it was a great place to film a movie.
Okay.
So we had to be there at crazy early hours of the day, and they said to follow the signs that say UITA, like up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Just follow those white signs with the arrow. So we get to this kind of a field parking lot, and this guy pulls up in a white van, and he rolls down the window, and he's like, "Are you here for the movie?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Get in the van." And I turn to Sam and I go, "Don't ever do this. Don't ever get in the van." But it's okay for today.
Oh man, that's great.
So
This is the only time you're allowed to do this.
someone says get in the van, you can get in the van. So we arrive and we go through all the costume checks, and we were in the luggage kind of carousel place where you would pick up your luggage and little kiosk. Sam and I were placed at a kiosk, a snack kiosk. So every scene, every time they said action, Sam had to eat Doritos. And by the end of the day, he was like orange all around. His whole mouth was just orange. I don't think he ate Doritos for a long time after that.
Man.
But so we're getting costume fitted, and they check you over like, "Okay, you're okay." No, it was supposed to be filmed in Milwaukee. So they made some people look like cheese heads and put those crazy Swiss cheese things on their head. So we're all lined up, like standing up tall, getting ready for our placement. And I could tell there was somebody right next to me. And, I'm just like trying to focus and look like I know what I'm doing. And all of a sudden I look, and it's George Clooney, like right on my shoulder. And I look up and he goes, "Good morning." That nice buttery soft George Clooney voice. "Good morning." And I'm like, "Good morning, good morning."
I would have done the same
Melted
thing.
instantly. That's awesome.
Anyway, it was a really fun experience. Was our scene in the movie? No.
No?
It's on the floor. No.
What?
I know.
They cut
They
it?
did. It's fine. I had my chance.
Man. And that's the only scene they filmed in that area, or
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they came to that area to
Right.
film a scene, and then just decided, "Nah, we're not gonna."
If you watch the movie, it's called Up in the Air. There's a scene where they're in Milwaukee, and there's a close-up on 2 roller suitcases going through the airport, and that's our scene. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
That's show business.
All right.
That's
That's how it goes,
how it goes. It was a fun day. It was a fun story.
right? It's something you'll tell forever.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a really cool story. Any other movie stories? No.
I don't have any movie stories. I do have a really fun story to tell about something I did when I was 45, and this is dance related.
Okay.
So, as a young dancer, you always aspire to, dance in New York City with the New York City Ballet or the American Ballet Theater, and it's just kind of like every dancer's dream. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was probably never going to happen. I have this much ballet talent, but those people, they're like Olympic stars, in the dance, but they're just phenomenal. So that's why I got into teaching, because I love it so much more. When I was 45, the American Ballet Theater was coming to Detroit to perform Sleeping Beauty, and they had an open call for background. We weren't really dancers. We were called supernumeraries, which are like extras, and you have these very elaborate costumes, and you're kind of filling in the background and doing pantomiming movements. So I show up, and there's probably 200 people at this audition, and it's all young girls. from, Wayne State or Oakland University, and they've all got stars in their eyes, like this is their big, chance. And here I am, 45. I'm like, what am I doing here? I get on the elevator. It was snowy. It was January. It was freezing cold. And I'm on the elevator with this very tall man, and he had on one of those like Elmer Fudd hats. And, I look at him, I'm like, are you here for the audition? And he's like, yeah. I go, me too. Oh, okay, I see you up there. He was the director. I didn't know. That's how far out of my realm I was.
That's good.
So I show up, and the audition was they wanted you to just walk across the floor, not dance, just walk. So I'm thinking, I was in Sleeping Beauty when I was 16 in my small little Chagrin Falls Ballet. So I recognized the music, and I'm thinking, this is the baptism of Sleeping Beauty. I'm going to elegant walk across the floor like this regal person, and all the other girls are like way over dancing the walking. And the director's like, no, I want you to just walk like a normal person. And some people could follow directions and some people couldn't. So the ones that couldn't got cut, and somehow I ended up in the show, which was amazing because I never thought in my whole lifetime that I would be on stage with American Ballet Theater.
That is so cool.
I was like, I can't believe that this happened to me at age 45. You kind of hang up those shoes at 19, and you're like, well, that would have been a nice dream. But so I tell people, never give up on your dreams because you never know what's going to come tapping you on the shoulder.
But your experience led to you having the maturity it took to get through that situation, understand exactly what the director was looking for. So,
right, and learn how to follow directions.
had that opportunity presented itself in your 20s, do you think you would have?
Oh no, I would have overdanced it.
Yeah, exactly. See? I mean, everybody's guilty of that. Everybody gets in your own head about stuff. So yeah.
But it was kind of neat because I got to share a stage with some amazing professional dancers, Isabel Boylston and Misty Copeland. I don't know if you've heard of Misty Copeland. She's an African-American ballet dancer that I believe she was an Under Armour spokesperson.
Okay.
You'd probably recognize her if you saw her.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful
Most
dancer,
likely.
super athletic, and just a really strong dancer. So it was kind of neat to be on stage with some superstar dancers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so talking about your studio, what made you decide to open a studio here in Tiffin after you already had one in Michigan? I mean, so why did you decide you wanted to open one up here?
So it's kind of a funny story. Being at Heidelberg in the late 80s, early 90s, and then I stayed and worked for Heidelberg as an admission counselor. So I'd spent another year here in Tiffin, and there really wasn't a whole lot going on downtown. I mean, you had your, Renos and, the regulars, but everything was out at the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the mall was like the place to be.
Oh, yeah.
And, now it's, kind of like a little bit of a reverse.
Yep.
So my older son, Sam, the one with the Doritos,
Oh, yeah.
he was...
You will forever be known as Dorito Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
Sam.
Sam was attending Heidelberg. And so I'd be coming down from Michigan to go to certain things for him and visit him and drop him back off at school and pick him up. And I'll never forget this. I dropped him off. He was living in King Hall. And I was pulling off on Main Street. And I pulled off into that parking lot that's across from National Machinery. Mm-hmm. And it was a beautiful evening. The sun was setting, and I felt like I was home. It was a weird feeling. And I thought, well, no, I have to drive back to Michigan. Sorry. I have to drive back up to that place up north. No, but it was a weird feeling. I felt like I should be here, and I shouldn't. I don't know. It was like Ohio was calling back, and Tiffin was calling me back. Fast forward, I have two sons. Tim also started going to Heidelberg. And at that point, I had both kids out of high school, and I really wanted to move back to Ohio, closer to my parents and my sister. They both live in Geauga County. And I just thought, I wonder if I could. So I started peeking my head in different shops downtown Tiffin, that were empty. And I thought, oh, this would be a good place for a studio. And so I contacted downtown and Amy Reinhardt. And I gave her the idea, and she said, Donna, downtown Tiffin would love a little fitness studio just like that. So I said, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm moving back to Ohio.
That's so cool.
Moving back to Tiffin.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's the story of how you opened one here. Now, you're a professor at Heidelberg. How challenging is it to balance the two of these jobs? I mean, now you have a new role with your, downtown Tiffin Main Street manager role.
Right.
How do you balance all of this?
It's, I'm changing my clothes a lot, like I said.
You got a big hat rack, too.
And my shoes. I had my tap shoes on this morning, and then I went on my downtown Tiffin shoes. It's a little bit of a challenge. I just have to be really careful with my time management. At Heidelberg, I'm an adjunct professor, so I teach 2 classes in the fall and 2 classes in the spring. In the fall, I teach classical ballet and modern, and then in the spring, I teach tap and jazz. So
That's cool.
it's great. I love it. I love the students. They are so fun. I would do it forever and ever, but unfortunately, you know how sometimes something's got to give. So I will not be coming back to Heidelberg in the fall, and I'm really sad about that. But I'm not going anywhere, so the students know that I'm still here. They can visit me at my studio, and I still support them as much as I can. I go to all their performances. They have SpongeBob the Musical coming up next weekend, so I'll be there.
Where's that at?
At Heidelberg.
At
At
Heidelberg?
Gunlock. Yep, at Gunlock Theater. So
That's so
I've
cool.
never seen SpongeBob the Musical, but I've heard it's really, really good. So
It sounds like fun.
I
Just
love
the
that.
name itself makes me intrigued already.
I
so.
love SpongeBob. I don't care.
All right. So, what is it about dance that inspires you to not only want to be obviously you own your own dance studio, but you want to teach others how to dance? I mean, that's got to be one of the most challenging jobs out there.
it's
Because you have to have patience, right? Guys like me walk in there with 2 size 14 left feet that don't know how to move. I mean,
I think with anything, if you break it down small enough, anybody can dance.
Yeah.
So you just start with the basics. All right, we're going to move this foot this way, and then we're going to move that foot that way. So then you just kind of build and add on from there. Because at Heidelberg, I have a lot of theater students who've had some dance background, but I also have some athletes. I've had football players, soccer players, all take my classes, and they have told me how much their balance and flexibility and just their overall performance in sports has improved tremendously. So
yeah.
they come in like, I've never danced before. I have no coordination. I'm like, I think you can dance. We're going to teach you. So.
I remember there was a big story about running backs in the NFL like 4, 5, 6 years ago that a lot of them were taking ballet and plyometrics, that kind of stuff to kind of work on their core balance, just gaining strength. So that's cool.
It's good. So at my studio, we our classes are more focused around fitness, so we don't do a lot of choreographed, coordinated movement. I tell people if you can do leg lifts, and if you can count to 16 and follow me, that's all you need to do.
Okay.
So just follow along, and if you can do 16 leg lifts, that's all. So we don't do combinations in the fitness classes.
Okay.
So that's good. And then I just added yoga this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That
a lot
is
of people
awesome.
asking me if I would offer yoga. And I said, you know what? I'm not certified in yoga. Ballet is my background. Dance is my background. I really am not. So, no.
Didn't have an interest in it either.
Right.
But-
But enough people ask you to do something, you're like, okay, there must be a need for it.
Yes.
So I took all last year, and there's a 200-hour yoga teacher certification. So I completed that. I'm now teaching yoga, and I love it. I love it so much. It's awesome. I'm surprised at how much I love it.
You don't have free time, do you? It's just go time. Donna's life is just go time nonstop.
And then I sleep. And then I wake up, and I go.
There you go. So let's talk about your new role with Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership.
Yes.
Now, what made you want to take on this task, this role, this position? I mean, did you apply for it? Did someone approach you about it?
No one approached me. I was already on the marketing committee.
Okay.
And just knowing Amy, and she would always invite all merchants downtown to come along to different Heritage Ohio trainings. And I love signing up for those things because you can always learn something new as a business owner. And I loved everything about TSUP and downtown Tiffin and Heritage Ohio and the whole Main Street program and how it's really revitalized downtown Tiffin. And what an amazing thing. So just being around that and then co-chairing the Chris Kringle Marked, that was kind of like a big, step in the door. And no one expected Amy to step down from her role, and January came and she announced that she was leaving, and I didn't plan on applying for the job, and then it was just one of those things that hit me, and I thought, I think I would love this job.
Yeah,
I really do. I love connecting with all the downtown businesses. I love being involved in all the committees. And just helping this town. I'm a small business owner myself, so I already have my heart invested in the community. Why not help more people get invested in the community?
For sure.
So.
Well, so what exactly does your role encompass with TSEP?
Yep. So TSEP is the Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership.
Yep.
So it encompasses all of Seneca County and the city of Tiffin. I am the downtown representative. So anything that happens in the downtown area, that would be me. So,
nice.
If a new business wants to open or just helping out existing businesses, we have that wonderful facade grant, that matching program that if someone wants to improve the facade of their building, we have a $10,000 matching grant, which is pretty amazing.
One thing about that, I think a lot of business owners don't know, but they think the facade, like, okay, the front of your building, it also covers roofs and gutters as well.
It does.
So any business owners out there, you think about making that big investment in that roof or gutter system, whatever, check into the grant first. I'm telling you, you can save some money.
And we just went online with our application for the first time, so it's a lot easier on all ends, and you can access that through the City of Tiffin website under the Architecture Board of Review.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Awesome.
What else do I do? I sit on all the committees, so the Business Enhancement, the Downtown Development Committee, the Marketing Committee, and the Design Committee. I hope I'm not missing one.
Well, I know that Amy had some big shoes to fill when she left.
Yes.
So when they were talking about who's going to replace her, I'm like, it's going to take a special kind of woman or special kind of person to replace Amy and what she did for the city in the short time. Well, she was here for almost a decade. I mean, she's been there since 2014, I think, was when she started, something like that. So she was there for a long time, and like I said,
amazing.
she left some big shoes to fill.
Yep.
And it
And a lot of
you
people
were the
are
perfect
like,
person for the role,
who's
that's for
this
sure.
new person? I get that once in
I
a
don't know.
while,
As
and
soon
then-
as I saw it was you, I was like, oh, well, that's perfect. That absolutely fits
thank
you.
like a glove.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm loving it. It was funny. I got to deliver a bunch of flyers today for our upcoming events. And, of course, the weather's beautiful. So who can be in a bad mood when the weather's so nice? But it was just fun. I just love going in and out of all the stores and meeting people and hearing their stories. And I love that.
That's really cool.
It's good.
So, I'll talk to my lovely wife real quick before we wrap things up here. So, with this artist stroll coming up, that is next Thursday, April 20th. This will be our soft opening for Studio².
Yeah, this is our first time announcing it.
Yes.
We haven't really talked about it
Haven't
at
said
all.
anything to anybody. Haven't really. Well, I've
said
heard a
anything
couple
on
people,
Facebook.
but yeah, this is our first time really putting it out there. And the grand opening will be coming soon. Obviously, we'll do the ribbon cutting and all that, whatever. The pomp and circumstance, But I am really excited to just be able to open the doors to the public and let them, like I said, see what we've been up to. Because we've been building something for a while. So it's been, we got the keys to this place in June last year, and it's been a long process to get it to where we want it to be. And I think we're pretty much there.
We've had a couple different window displays. People are like, do you sell this? Do you sell that? No.
Chelsea
I
and
just have weird collections that I like to
collect
display.
weird things. Like I like uranium glass because it glows in a black light, and
I do black light art,
She
so.
works at a thrift store, so we collect it. So we made a glass display with all of our uranium glass in the window, and somebody messaged our Facebook page. Do you sell uranium glass?
Sorry, it's mine.
So yeah, now people will finally know what we do, and they'll get a chance to get an in-depth look at the inside portion of Studio², and hopefully, be able to open the door to new opportunities for us.
Maybe we should do like a small little walkthrough video, like during the day
Oh, definitely,
during
that's
the
happening.
art walk.
For sure.
Yeah.
But when we open the doors finally, what are some of the things that you're going to be offering? I mean, I know you do paint lessons. You have a couple of students that you do lessons with right now.
I have 3 art students right now. I want to get more.
And so these art students vary in age from, right now you're teaching anywhere between the ages of
8 and 14, but I mean, I can do between the ages of 8 and 80.
Yeah.
So, like Donna said, once you break things down,
8 is about the cutoff, though. That's about as young as you'll go. Just because
Yeah.
before that, it's like there's a lot of cleanup involved. Let's just say that.
yeah, I have to spend more on materials usually.
But no, honestly, I'm really excited about that. What other things do you offer, though?
So I do private lessons. I do group classes. I paint murals. I do commission paintings. I do painting, sculpture. I can do floral art. Pretty much everything.
Anything art.
Initially, my art name was going to be called Awkwardly Wandering Artworks and Oddities because I kind of awkwardly wander between all these mediums, and I also do the levitation wand. So there's like a word, a play on words there. But I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm just going to go with my name, and it's just going to be Chelsea Mullins, professional artist. It might change later, but it's going to be simple, just my name.
Mm-hmm. So that's the start of it. And then once we get these doors open, we'll be able to, like I said, allow people to see inside, but also potential to open up the possibilities for
Like a retail space.
Yeah. And come in and look at your artwork. You can buy some prints. You can buy some original artwork if you want that's already on display. There's a lot of different stuff that I'm excited for when we finally get these doors open.
Yep. Once we narrow our focus and I can get all my ducks in a row, there's a lot of other things I have planned for involving other people in the community too. So I just want to inspire and, simplify art so people aren't so intimidated by it, so they want to create it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I think that's pretty much everything. I don't want to keep you too long, Donna, because I know it's getting late, and I know you have probably something you have to get up early for tomorrow. So
I really, 2 classes in the morning.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but I really appreciate you carving out a chunk of your schedule for us here tonight.
Thank you for having me on here. I've really enjoyed this, and this is great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, thank you for coming on. You're welcome to come in anytime if you have anything you want to talk about. Just hit me up, shoot me a message, say, hey, I've got this event that I'd like to come on and talk about. Anytime.
Great.
Doors open. We have an open door policy. So, all right. Thank you so much. Once again, thanks to the wizard, Greg Kinn, for keeping us live and locked in. Make sure, if you made it this far, share the video. Share, please. And comment. Shoot us a comment. Let us know where you're going to be for the artist stroll, what you're looking forward to. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Mullin It Over here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Have a great day, everybody.